Scully, no Scully to my molder. I'll pull on the Depends fully when I'm older and still get checked like a Goron gets older. Focus Gold Ranger hit a pink trying to domesticate. I get it straight, so I ain't gonna masturbate. Swapping ride and sinking low faster than my own self-hate. Think I'm cool like Ricky Bobby, but I'm bagging Ricky Lake. It's just a journey that I'm on. I fuck a lot, don't tell my mom. I suck at bills cause weed's the bomb, and I like the girls when they get that green on. She did something hard to swallow, leaving me. Borrowed Jordan Swine's line over my density. Now I'm back to a future where it's just me in a world of Elizabeth.
Call me lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
I got some problems, but I'm really trying to move on. Yeah, move on.
They call me lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
Like the economy, don't call it a recession, cause 1% think it's great and the rest of y'all can lay off. I'm guessing sticking to dick jokes at nearly 40s childhood regression. When the fuck is the payoff? Clearly shorty was a better term than bitches, but when situations got us digging ditches just to pay some bills, we fix it back to burning witches when we should be burning corporations, but we riches down fixing for pills. But who cares, cause I can make it still be the 1%. Ain't that the thrill? That'll fix it all. Let bears and bulls do their will, but it bears repeating, we full ass can't pay our bills still. Gotta keep the hope alive. American dreams for American lives. You forget your woes when I shuck and jive, and if that doesn't work, scroll me on by. The next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time.
Not be healthy, but we're cuter than a selfie. Pure like romance, market self-pleasuring, multi-level market selling. It's telling how we're always faulty on the shelf, but still be fucking. Fucky knows now Tory spelling. Let's do Polly, Mary Shelley. Frankly, every dime of Ben Science money couldn't buy the kinds of things I feel inside whenever you are by my side. Hell, let's play shell games with our feelings. I'm on your line, just keep on reeling. You might be null, so fake's appealing. Stay in the weeds like Kevin Nealon. Heaven only knows what I would be without you. Feel big love like I'm Bill Paxton, but I'm broke like Brian Wilson. Should I hold on like his daughter? Is that lining up for slaughter? Need time for wounds who cauterize, so we hit heights like my alma mater. This is how it goes. Love is always messy. Gotta confess the best me probably can't see how to be a we when you keep me guessing. I want to stress that this is a bad situation for me. I should break up with you, but I don't wanna, cause got a good fit and you like my body. Got a good fit. Got a good fit, and you like my body, you like my body. Well, they say I'm on the rebound. Boy, your name is Ben Wallace. Be like Shaq and dunk it back, cause maybe I'm the tallest. But flawless I am not, so I'm questioning that shot. Like Big Ben shooting free throws, but you're really fucking hot. So what do they know? I'm not wounded just because they say so. Goons will bruise me, sure there's pain, but I always stay on like a volcano. Can we be the same though? Not a simple yes or say no when you're clogged up on this dude like your life needs fucking Drano. It's insane though. He treats you like shit. And you can't quit it. Now I've really stepped in it, cause I've got the feels for you and I should just move the fuck on. But I'm not going to, because got a good fit and you like my body. Got a good fit and you like my body. Got a good fit and you like my body. And you like my body. You like my body. Got a good fit and you like Whatever.
They call me lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
I've got some problems, but I'm really trying to move on. Yeah, move on. Murder on the beat like Godzilla slaying Tokyo. Just left your girlfriend's sheets. Boomerang, Rufio! Hooked her on this beat, Sonic. She was never saying no. Roll 20 on her tabletop, but she got some booty though. Sonic for the ones with positronic brains that wanna laugh and fuck that run my positive. The ones that let you do that kid so positronic. If I'm honest, Betty Well will probably still be here the night I leave this cruel demonic world and want me Sonic. Losing brings are worse than me. Like that One Piece Luffy King, I'm out to find that booty, Nami's on it. So what you say out that COVID quarantine and you're looking good to me? Wanna let me in that Polly Pocket?
Lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
I've got some problems, but I'm really trying to move on. Yeah, move on. Fucking trends like I'm a winter soldier. No girlfriend, no scully to my molder. I'll pull on the defense fully when I'm older and still get checked like a Goron gets molder. Focus Gold Ranger hit a pig trying to domesticate. Masticate, I get it straight so I ain't gonna masturbate. Swapping right and sinking low faster than my own self-hate. Think I pull like Ricky Bobby, but I'm bagging Ricky Lake. It's just a journey that I'm on. I fuck a lot, don't tell my mom. I suck at bills cause weed's the bomb. And I like the girls when they get that green on. She did something hard to swallow, leaving me. Borrowed Jordan's lines, line you with my density. Now I'm back to a future where it's just me in a world of
They call me lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
I've got some problems, but I'm really trying to move on. Yeah, move on.
They call me lonely, and I don't know why. I really don't think I'm such a lonely guy.
Like the economy, don't call it a recession, because 1% think it's great and the rest of y'all can lay off. I'm guessing sticking to dick jokes at nearly 40s childhood regression. When the fuck is the payoff? Clearly shorty was a better term than bitches, but when situations got us digging ditches just to pay some bills, we fix it back to burning witches when we should be burning corporations, but we bridges down fixing for pills. But who cares, cause I can make it still be the 1%. Ain't that the thrill? That'll fix it all. Let bears and bulls do their will, but it bears repeating. We full ass can't pay our bills still. Gotta keep the hope alive. American dreams for American lives. You forget your woes when I shuck and jive, and if that doesn't work, scroll me on by. The next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time. Next video make you happy, you're sure this time.
Got a good fit, really like my body. Got a good fit, really like my body. Got a good fit, really like my body. Sure, we may not be healthy, but we're cuter than a selfie. Pure like romance market, self-pleasuring, multi-level market selling. Telling how we're always faulty on the shelf, but still be fucking. Fucky knows now Tory spelling. Let's do Polly, Mary Shelley. Frankly, every dime of Ben Science money couldn't buy the kinds of things I feel inside whenever you are by my side. Hell, let's play shell games with our feelings. I'm on your line, just keep on reeling. You might be null, so fake's appealing. Stay in the weeds like Kevin Nealon. heaven only knows what I would be without you. Feel big love like I'm Bill Paxton, but I'm broke like Brian Wilson. Should I hold on like his daughter? Is that lining up for slaughter? Be time for wounds to cauterize so we hit heights like my alma mater. This is how it goes. Love is always messy. Gotta confess the best me probably can't see how to be a we when you keep me guessing. I want to stress that this is a bad situation.
Well, I am not my much prettier girlfriend, but you should stick around and watch what I'm doing anyways, cause I share some stream accounts with my much prettier girlfriend, but I think if you hang out, you'll find out that I am we share a Twitch account. Twitch.com/dorkspace. She's on it honestly most of the time. I'm sorry that I'm not the hottie that you were hoping to find. Pretty hot though, if I say so, just not the hottie you were looking for. But I'm playing every game on the Nintendo 64 and every Final Fantasy game that's come before. So please stay and watch me, por favor. I can't do this song anymore.
Hello. Hello. I have so much beard. It's too much. As a bald man, as a very bald man, I've not had to worry about things in years, like shampoo and conditioner. But here I am having, like, it was, I think it was a week or two ago, I was just like, why does my face hurt? And Selena was like, dear Lord, you have to handle this stuff. It turns out you do. I made a promise that I'm not shaving till this game is beaten. I don't like having this much facial hair. It is too much. But here we go. I don't think we're beating this week. I think the goal this week becomes getting the ribbon and getting out. Here's what I'm worried about. There is... what's up, Kishil? You got this, you're ducking. I appreciate it. Here's my main worry. I'm gonna save right here so that we're saved here. Is that okay, we do still have the blood sword. Okay. So we should be able to take out that boss that has the ribbon if we utilize the blood sword. So what the blood sword does in this game is it automatically does 1/16 damage against the enemies, regardless of what their current health is, which is awesome against bosses. It's not great against obviously fighting any level of mobs, because you go like, oh man, it would be great to take these guys out, and you're, you know, hitting for 1/16 of their health, right? It's not a very helpful thing when you're fighting large groups of enemies. It is, however, incredibly helpful when you're fighting just one that has a fuck ton of HP. So, as long as we know said boss battle is coming, and then we can, like, equip the blood sword going into it, we'll be very okay. Nick says the least yours comes in nice and full. I have shitty thin hair. My beard comes in mostly straight. Yeah, I just Santa Claus up. What's up, Samuel? I forgot to move our big tough guy forward again. Bad at my job. Yeah, so I think the goal today is to get to the ribbon, succeed in that boss battle, get out. I think that's the goal of it. As much as I would like to get myself in the position where shaving is a possibility. Lizard, yeah. Sam says I've been trying to make Reg Sam better and hit a brick wall. Oh no, what is Reg Sam doing now? There's a lot of lizards. Oh, they ran away. Okay, good. Do this before I forget to do it again. I was helping Edo with his quotes the other day. Mixed it up, has some neat features I liked. Oh, that's cool. I was saying, so like quote last pulls up the newest quote. I don't have a quote system. I probably should implement one at some point. Also on top random quotes, specific quote numbers, and the latest quote, you can look up partial quotes. Yeah, that stuff's not cool. What's rough, as someone who used to stream a lot on Facebook, Facebook has its own built-in chat bot, but it had such limited functionality of like what you could get it to actually do, and people were so like, when it started going and we were playing around with it, people were so excited to like play with it, and it was so insanely limited what it could like do or not do, respond to, not respond to. It's like anything else, it had basic like if-then programming, but like the ifs were so limited, and then they just kind of dropped all functionality whatsoever. But like for like a year and some change, when we did live comic sales, we were doing it on the Dork Duck Facebook. And then when we were like, actually, we're gonna fold things back into Red Raptor, we started doing live comic sales on Red Raptor again. And then that turned into this like weird thing where like there was suddenly a chat bot going still because we were playing with it before we stopped streaming on there all the time, and we couldn't even figure out how to shut it off. So it was going, had that super limited functionality, in like, so like in the years since, people are used to interacting with all these different bots that can do all these different things that it couldn't do, and yet we could not figure out how to shut the thing off. It just kept going and going. Sam said, so I've been sledging through while loops trying to write a lookup function. My initial thought was wildcards on both sides of the partial quote, but something about how I wrote it is broken. The console is just saying insufficient parameters. I sent everything to Soggy to look over. Yeah, he'd be the person that'd be able to figure that out. We are currently addicted, by the way, to You can find it at your local Speedway and or 7-Eleven. It's tropical pineapple Mountain Dew. Now, do I have any business drinking tropical pineapple Mountain Dew? No. Am I, however, currently addicted to it? Yes. Thankfully, the rest of the quote system runs just fine, even with the borked lookup bit. Well, I find even, you know, we're not even running quotes, but we just have like a basic, like, the dad joke thing is just storing strings and then dumping those strings out, right? It should be the most basic thing in the world, but we have times where that completely breaks down for some reason, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. We also don't have a whole bunch of people utilizing it, so it's like it doesn't get as stress tested as the average thing does, but yeah, it's wild to me that the quote system a little more in depth. It's strings with IDs broken up by channel. Yeah, that makes sense. That was always like my problem with programming, is I would always land in this place where I was gonna like be like, okay, conceptually I understand how this works. And this should be working. It is, however, not working. And I am not smart enough to figure out, you know, where I erred in this and setting all this up. It's the same case with like the, I was pretty deep in the weeds for when we were doing the morning show all the time. Before the show started, I was pretty deep in the weeds of programming a thing that was going to auto switch between cameras based on which microphone was being like utilized. Now there's a plugin for Twitch called Advanced Scene Switcher. That plugin gives you so much control. And again, it's all based on if-then statements, right? That you can put into hierarchies, right? And it should have, like, everything in theory should have worked fine. But I could not get it to work. Sam said, I'm kind of glad that one fell through. I feel like you guys overlap a lot. The cameras would have been flashing like a rave. Yeah, so like, that's part of what I had built into it. Theoretically, it was made so that would not happen, because it would, one of the things it was testing for was like how recently the cameras had switched. So if like we were talking over each other and talking back and forth, it would like switch back and forth at a regular interval. But if one person was like talking and talking and talking and talking and the other person wasn't talking, it would stay on that camera. So I was like trying to program for all of that stuff. And in theory, it should have worked. Now, even had I implemented it, the problem is... Okay. I have no room for a kiss or a time cube. But I would like to say that in life, if someone offers you a kiss and a time cube, I don't even know what those are, but I feel like you need to take them. Now, in theory, the actual breakdown, Sam, would have been the fact that, like, I could never get people to actually talk properly into the microphone. It was always the problem I had, and it wasn't a thing that was isolated to any one person. It was like whatever when we had the full studio setup, it didn't matter which person we brought in. It was like, and I was like, hey, you need to be right here on the microphone. They never were. And like did not believe me or something. It was odd. But it was a constant just like, hey, can you talk more into the, okay. No. Which that is where that would have broke down even if we would have gotten it fully functional. Is that if people weren't talking and the mic wasn't, because it was cool, you could even set it so that there was like levels of like where it had to be over a certain decibel amount for a certain amount, even for it to like initiate a switch. So it's like if someone's just like or whatever, it's not going to trigger it. It's all really cool, and I wish I would have been able to I wish I would have been smart enough to be able to figure it out, because on paper it should have worked, and it was just so much easier just to shut it off. Sounds very cool. Yeah. And I feel like someone like Soggy would probably look at what I was doing and then like in 2 seconds be like, oh, of course it's broken here. Like this is the piece you're not seeing that is bringing the whole house of cards down. Like, oh, okay. Like, but it was that way. And you know, when I was like a kid playing around with programming, you know, I would be like, hey, I'm trying to do this with this, and someone would point out the like 2 lines of code that like, oh, okay. And when I was like, I took a programming class in college, and that was always the case there too, where it was just like, why won't this compile? And someone would be like, this one little blip here, you forgot this thing. Like, oh yeah, okay. My ability to have an attention to detail is rough. It's too many things. Poisoned, small, asleep. Stay poisoned. This game weirdly has levels of poison, and if you're the first level of poison, you don't stay poisoned. But if you're poison 2, electric boogaloo, then you actually stay poisoned. Making something like a rig BAM sounds like a fun project, though, and like implementing on it sounds like a fun project. I'm a little sad I don't have the time to put into such things. I think it helps that you have like other people that utilize it. Probably a lot easier to justify putting work into it if like he exists in multiple streams, so it's not it feels less like oh, we can do this, you know, it'll make my streams more fun. Like if you're like, oh, I'm improving the experience for all these people. Mostly just you and Shiki. I thought It was beyond that. I can't remember. I thought I remembered seeing it other places, but maybe not. Many of the people that used to use it stopped streaming. That is just kind of the way of things, probably, unfortunately. Streaming feels close to stand-up, sadly, where it's just like, when I talk to my buddy still in stand-up, it's like a whole lot of like, yeah, no, you got out, this person got out, this person got out, this person got out, and it's just like, people fall off. Is in other places, those places stream like once every 6 months. Oh, EC uses it, Sumi, Shiki, and Issa, yeah. That's probably where I saw it. Hello, Aether. It says, hey, gonna with the PC lurk as I go to work. Good to see you. Nice beard, by the way. Thanks. Good to see you. Appreciate your existence. Thank you for the lurk. Hope work goes well and quickly. And I'm glad people like the beard. I'm uncomfortable. What's rough is it's probably going to grow past the uncomfy point and hit a point where I'm just like, oh, I don't know, I kind of like this. But maybe not. I have no idea. It's as of right now, it is not a thing I'm a fan of, and would gladly be done with it. But it's a fun bit, though. I like the bit of having the beard that I'm not a fan of till we put this game to bed. What is up, Addo? Good morning. I think you have a better beard than me. I don't know that that's true. I think a ginger beard is inherently superior to all other beards. I think that's the rule. I don't make them. I hope you're having a wonderful evening, as it is evening in your parts. And also Christmas time in your parts, I think I saw. Unless I was just seeing a wildly old post, I'm not sure. You have a beard, I like. Well, I appreciate. Aesthetics aside on it, it is not something that I find comfortable to have on my face. Like, it is. There is like somewhere where it's like just the sheer like ability to have something to be like and tug on throughout the day. I guess I don't hate that bit, but it's like feeling something on my face constantly is not something I'm a fan of. But I'm also the person who like loves when the temperature gets a little bit higher because I just feel more comfortable wearing like a flannel and feel more comfortable wearing a stocking cap, and as soon as I can do that again, I'm like, oh, thank God. Which is itself really silly. Ed says, yes, Philippines celebrates Christmas from September to January, so like trees are popping up and Jingle Bell Rock is playing in stores. That is intense. Is there just... I'm guessing there's no Halloween there, which is like how... I understand there not being a Thanksgiving. I guess Halloween is a very American thing too. Because those are the two things that are just stopping that from happening here. Otherwise, they very much would be doing that here as well. But yeah, there's this notion of just like, hey, let's make sure Halloween and Thanksgiving have their time. And then even with Thanksgiving, they're kind of like, but really, do we have to? But I think we Halloween people scare people enough that they're like, oh, we don't want to make those Hot Topic kids mad. But like, let's give them. Yeah, I'm opposite with temp. Make me cold and I'm happy. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of the same because I like wearing the layers and stuff. Like I wrap back around to that. Like I prefer the cold weather because I like wearing this stuff and it makes me feel safe. For lack of better, I feel better when I'm like in a stocking cap and a flannel, and during the summer months I just can't. I also just prefer blue jeans and wearing them constantly, but when it hits summertime, like I become the typical dad in the house of just like, I enter the house and the pants come off. And sometimes Selena is advocating for my children. Be like, what if we put pants on today? Just like, my dad did this before me. His dad did this before him. I don't know. This is like, it's hot. I don't care. Warm. I'm gonna sit here in a t-shirt and underpants. It's not like I wear tidy whities or anything. As Halloween and Thanksgiving don't really do anything here. It's also hyper Christian here. Quite a few of them are like, Halloween is evil because it celebrates the devil. I mean, that's what I grew up in, so. Unfortunately. There's like a weird thing happening here where it's like it's just more and more common for there to be Halloween church events like trunk or treats and stuff, which is so interesting to me, having grown up in the like, no, Halloween equals evil devil's night stuff. To have just churches be like, no, it's cool, come here to the church. When I was growing up, you couldn't have anything even vaguely associated with Halloween, and so you would instead have harvest celebrations. And sometimes at harvest celebrations, you would be allowed to dress up as your favorite Bible character. Now, gun to my head, I could not tell you what my favorite Bible character is. I couldn't tell you what my favorite Bible character was. Not like anyone's like, oh yeah, I'm a Moses guy myself. As is, yeah, I grew up with a lot of harvest festivals, but people were generally chill with Halloween in my neck of it. That's nice. Well, the thing about like having dress up like your favorite Bible character, all of them are basically like put on a robe and put on a fake beard. That's Moses, that's Noah, that's Jesus. I guess you could like be a wise man or something, but if you're gonna be a wise man, you're gonna like put on a robe and a fake beard. There's not much costume variation there. Hello, Sam. Welcome back. We were discussing how when I was a kid, churches were not cool with Halloween, but they seem weirdly cool with Halloween now. And I grew up going to harvest festivals, and harvest days, and sometimes at those harvest celebrations, you were allowed to dress up as your favorite Bible character. You also grew up with harvest festivals, yeah. Sometimes Sam makes me feel less crazy. Because it's a shared trauma. Addo also remembers the harvest groups, but then said that his neck of the woods is cool with Halloween, and said, yeah, and then you'd have the person who would try to be God and then piss off people too. Yeah, because you can't dress up as God. But then again, the costume for God is once again a robe and a fake beard. All the costumes are robes and fake beards. I guess you could be Joseph with an amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I guess you have that option. That's the one favorite Bible character you can pick that's like different that I can think of off the top of my head. Could be God, but when people ask you're Moses, yeah, that works. Hello, Shiki. Good morning. I also don't like. That's my problem is twofold. It's like, one, every costume's the same with favorite Bible character, and two, it's like coming up with a favorite Bible character, I think it's just such a weird task to ask a kid. Like, I think if you had to ask young Jeffy what his favorite Bible character was, and wanted an honest response, I would probably say, yo, that demon that went into the pigs and the pigs immediately ran off like, fucking Legion. That's probably was my favorite. But like, you can't one, have a demon, let alone multiple demons, as your favorite Bible character, and two, you can't show up dressed as Legion. Sam says, are you immediately going to hell if God/Jesus isn't your favorite Bible character? Yeah, that's the other thing. Shiki says my favorite Bible character is the Jawbone. Dress up as Legion from Mass Effect. Yeah. Edo says, I would call dibs on Satan, but he's described as being heavenly beauty. No one would believe me if I said him. I mean, he does talk about the creators. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, biblically accurate Lucifer would be fun. Like, no, I'm Morningstar. My favorite Bible character is the dinosaurs in Job. That was a deep cut. Is Behemoth the one in Job? I can't remember. But how many eyeballs do you need? All of them. All the eyeballs. What was that guy's name? I want to say it was Ken Ham. He was the Australian Answers in Genesis guy. I think he was behind the Noah's Ark experience that you can visit too. Yeah, I think so, yeah. The guy who said that when our poor underpaid science teachers talked about evolution in school, we were supposed to raise our hands and be like, hi, were you there? That's what we were trained to do. He says, "Do you like my angel costume? Cost me $500. No, it was mostly googly eyes. The rest was my mom's spare sheets." Matter of fact, I was. Now show me some respect. All right, we've made it to Pandemonium. All right, so like I said earlier, I think our goal this week is to get the I'm just gonna crack an elixir now, because who cares? I think our goal this week is to get the ribbon and get out, because it gives us a concrete goal we can kind of shoot for, right? And it also the timing of that right as the battle starts. Is to beat this damn game. No, this is a ribbon run, yeah. I think that gives us a concrete goal so that we can get in, get more experience, get out. Like, we've done some leveling up cruising through here. And if we get the ribbon, that guarantees us a smoother pass through. And it also just sets us up with the leveling up, like, for what is up? Hello, hello. Huge shout out to Kiki. Sorry, I'm trying not to dox you. I have to, like, do a lot of thinking doing that. Who has been helpful this week as my mental health has been in shambles. Also, a huge shout out to Sam, who has also been helpful this week as my mental health has been in shambles. Friends are good and awesome. We're pro friends here. Friends are a good thing. Aren't we all in the mental health fiasco? Yes. Yes, we are. Do you know what helps, though? Tropical pineapple Mountain Dew. It's holding us all together. Fiasco sounds a lot more fun than what I'm experiencing. Yeah. Been too anxious for life, so I've been playing Islands and Trains. Like, that's not a bad way to go. I appreciate Islands and Trains. That's all you people I've never met, and I mean that with my whole heart. We love you. It's good to see you. Sorry, our chill morning show, morning space is not around currently. I think it's gonna come back at some point in some sort of Celine and I have conversations about it, not initiated by me on an almost daily basis. It's rough because it's like I am someone as a human that I thrive and am made way more stable by, like, waking up to a full schedule every day. And Selena is very much the opposite of that. And as we were living a life where it was like, hey, when you wake up, here's all the things that you're expected to immediately wake up and do, which is like a huge comfort to me, to her, made her go, ah! It's hard to rectify those, not rectify, it's hard to, like, be a good partner and also, like, Kiki's a nickname I've had since I was a wee bab, so it's basically my name. Okay, fair enough. Glad to be here, good. Someone said they're like Lena. Adam said, I'm like Lena, I need some time to process the fact that I'm awake. My mom's that way, and I love my mother dearly. But she would, when she was a nurse that had to work at a hospital an hour away at a very early time, like, so she had to be there at 7 and had to leave at 6. She would like wake up at 4:30 every day so she could sit for like an hour. And I've never been that person. If I have to leave at 6, I'm waking up at 5:45 and getting in the car. Sam says I'm always wide awake as soon as I wake up. Yeah. Kiki says approximately an hour for me too. Kiki says, yeah, different things work for different people. I totally get that. Send my love to Lena too. Will do. She's very fond of me. It's just interesting too, like just the way different people are wired, because I'm just also of the ilk of just like, oh man, like an empty schedule. Is there anything more terrifying than an empty schedule? And like Felita's like, is there anything more terrifying than a full schedule? Like and those two people work together very well in so many aspects of life, but in like a hey, let's launch like a whole ass thing, I have no idea how that works. He says when I had to commute for an hour, I would wake up 25 minutes before I had to leave. Then I would get a coffee from Dunkin' with my sleepy voice and process my existence for over an hour-long drive. Yeah. That's the commute kind of becomes the thing that helps you do the processing. This is currently not going well with everybody. Being charmed and confused. Hopefully they wake up. Sam Sashiki says I'm like a golden retriever because I'm always excited to see her when she finally wakes up. Yeah. I do like and value the time I get from like waking up before everybody. It is nice to like kind of because I tend to, gosh, this is currently not. Hopefully we muster through this. Gonna be a tight one. That's what she said. Nice. Nice. Speaking of that's what she said, I have watched The Paper, which is the follow-up to The Office. I watched most of it. I think I'm almost done with, because they dumped 10 episodes to start it all off. It is a show. It is now the Adam says I wake up at 9 on my weekends because I appreciate that hour and a half before Mrs. Beard wakes up so I can chill and just exist. Yeah. Yeah, I like that little quiet time of just like, okay, let me just It's especially nice on Sundays because everyone sleeps in and I just hang out and see them stream, and I'm just like, all right. The weeks that like everybody in the house wakes up and then they're like, why are you watching that? I'm just like, it's my time. Leave me alone. Or I like to like usually wake up before Sam starts streaming, and I will like, that's where I'll like sit and do some like gaming while listening to a podcast. It's nice. But the paper, which is follow-up to The Office, which for some reason in our culture is like the most important sitcom to ever exist ever, on the level of Friends, which also for some reason was the most important sitcom to ever exist ever. And I think both shows are fine. I say this with love, nice. Jeff, did you ever watch Obituary? I did not. Thankfully, different time zone streamers exist. That's true. There's a... I've never quite understood why The Office exists in this like totemic status and culture that it does. Much like I've never understood that with Friends. I think both are good shows that but are not even probably, if I had to list my favorite sitcoms, I'd probably easily list 5 before either of those two. But that said, it does exist in that status, and so inevitably something attached to it is gonna get greenlit and have its place, but also at the same time, in a world where people can't pay their bills, I don't think you can do a workplace comedy about a bunch of individuals that just aren't fulfilled by their very stable but boring job, right? Like, I don't think that flies in 2025. So you can't make, as much as people are like, oh, you can't make The Office anymore because you're not allowed to tell jokes. Like, I don't think that's true for a moment. But I also think you can't make The Office anymore because, one, the idea of just that casual, like, ugh, I have this job that pays me enough that I can pay my bills, but it's boring and not satisfied, and my boss is annoying. Like, I don't think you can do that comedy in 2025 when people are like, hey, we're getting laid off, and you can't do that. Also, inherently, like, there's a built-in, like, how many people actually go physically to an office and work anymore? I would say they're mostly kind of ignoring that one for the sake of having a show. And it says almost everywhere is a toxic workplace, that The Office is just reality, yeah. As I said, I don't like The Office, Parks and Rec, or Friends. I only really like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place. Yeah, Brooklyn Nine-Nine was like my comfort show when I was like really going through it. He says you absolutely can do jokes now. That comment always has annoyed me. People are just mad that the jokes aren't thinly veiled race and bigotry, and people don't want to vibe with it. Yeah. Yeah. I 1000% agree. It's really frustrating. Where we're at now, culture-wise. But yeah, it's like, I think you can 1000% do jokes now. I don't think that, though, you can have those characters that are just like, yeah. Have they tried simply being funnier? So their follow up to The Office, their plan is to instead set it at a they're taking the Parks and Rec route more than the Office route, where it's like it's an idealistic boss trying to do idealistic things, right? And it is set at a newspaper in Toledo, Ohio, in which an idealistic person is using the clout he's earned at the company to come in as editor-in-chief in the newspaper and try to do principled journalism again. Which, like, as an angle for a follow-up to an inevitable follow-up to The Office, it is like as good of an angle as you could ask for, I think. It got greenlit for season 2 before season 1 even started. I would say it definitely has season 1 Office or Parks and Rec problems, of which a lot of it just doesn't work, and a lot of the characters need to be either turned down or turned up. She says, no, Kiki, they are funny, we just don't get their jokes. I'm sorry, I'm doing daily Sudoku, so late reply. Kiki says, anyway, I meant to mention Obituary again. It's an Irish dark comedy. This woman is trying to make ends meet as an obituarist, but no one is dying, so she starts to make that happen. It's just so good. You're supposed to be coming out with season 2. That sounds amazing. So, like, yeah, I would say the paper. I'm way more intrigued right now by the writing and academic exercise of, like, hey, how do you follow up The Office, than I am like, I really enjoy this show. Because it's interesting, and I don't think it's fully working now. I think it possibly could by the time they get through season 2, but I also, like, don't know that it's making it past that, because it's like, do people have the patience to get through something like that now at this point? Like, The Office kind of struggled its first season, but came out at a time where, you know, you would be watching another show, and then all of a sudden the cold open for The Office would start, and you'd be like, what is this show? And you could start watching in season 3, but people don't really watch TV that way anymore, you know? They don't start in the middle because their TV told them to. So I'm very intrigued of, like, if it'll, like, continue to exist. And then as someone who lives, you know, near Toledo, Ohio, I find it a little bit frustrating that the show is so set in Toledo, Ohio, but is not, like, very Toledo-y. I could use more Toledo in the Toledo, Ohio shows. But AP Bio, I think is the name of that show, is also set in Toledo, and I'm always just like, is it though? Because, like, when you watch something like the other school show, can't think of it right now, Abbott Elementary, like, that's a very Philadelphia show. But yeah, there's just not a lot of Toledo, Ohio happening, and they need Klinger to make it more Toledo. Yes. What an icon Klinger was. Careful what you wish for. We don't need that Toledo smell coming through the TV. I guess fair enough. There's, like, a couple times where it's like, Like they say an email address and it's like Mudhensfan98 or something. Like there's like these little nods to Toledo here and there. But yeah, it just overall doesn't have a. I said I didn't understand Cleaner when I was younger, but I definitely turned into him to some extent at least. Klinger is one of the many examples of the very conservative culture that I grew up in that thought that drag was the funniest thing on the planet. Like, there is nothing funnier than drag. And then now it is like, there is nothing more immoral and ruining our society more than drag. I'm always so thrown by like, what? That's not what you guys told me growing up. This is where people don't watch what their TV tells them to. No, but they will sure as shit watch whatever YouTube tells them to. Many people watch late into our playthroughs without watching the start. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube's in a weird space right now. Everything is right now, though. That says, to be fair, my dad didn't like Klinger because he thought he was weak for trying to get discharged. Yeah, YouTube is fucked. Like, there's been a whole lot of watching kind of creators come forward and be. I guess Twitch is to some degree too. Right now, if you make a lot of money off of advertising on Twitch, you have to be way more careful than you used to have to be. Him says it happens often. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Also, I'm proud of myself for hanging on to that thought and doing my Sudoku puzzle. That's impressive. I can't do Sudoku puzzles when I'm concentrating on them. It isn't the first time creators spoken out about it. Not even like the third time this conversation has happened. So I guess what is currently going on, though, is that I guess they're getting rid of YouTube Kids, and I didn't understand this angle till like I was deep in reading about it yesterday. Like they are phasing YouTube Kids out completely for some reason, which is weird because it's like I never utilized YouTube Kids, but like from what I hear across the board from parents is like that's one of the it's usually cited as like, you know, when people are coming after Roblox for how poorly a job they're doing taking care of kids, they often cite YouTube Kids as a better example of how to especially the first time I have to look at a map. They often cite YouTube Kids as a better example of giving options to parents for that stuff. And for whatever reason, it sounds, unless I was misreading that or reading someone making up stuff that's not true, they have decided to get rid of YouTube Kids, which again is odd to me. And so with them getting rid of YouTube Kids, they've added a restricted mode to YouTube proper, which if some people have YouTube accounts that are themselves YouTube accounts and Google accounts that are themselves older than 18 years, so that doesn't super matter, although a lot of people have found that their YouTube has just been automatically toggled into restricted mode, and when it's in restricted mode, there's large swaths of content that you just don't see, and there doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason right now for like why certain people's videos are being put into restricted. And so for the people that make their money off of YouTube, it is a problem. The weirdest and the craziest bit of it being that if you make a new account and the AI of YouTube thinks that you're, based on your behavior, you are a child, it will now automatically restrict your account. And you have to supposedly, at that point, submit a actual legal ID to prove that you are not. Anyway, Sam says it's funny because YouTube Kids was the answer to the Elsa Gate thing, and I thought, he said I don't even YouTube enough to have known that Elsa Gate was a thing, and I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I don't know what that is, and I think I'm okay with that too. I'm guessing it's just the... I wouldn't be surprised if they phase it out. They're shadow banning mature content and forcing age verification on the main account. Parents setting kids in front of autoplay screens basically prints money, so the second or third Adpocalypse was Elsa Gate. Weird horny Spider-Man and Elsa content that kind of ending up in front of kids because the algorithm, they were too focused on IPs. Yeah, that tracks. Thank you for giving us context, Sam. But sadly, it's not context I'm surprised by at all. That was when YouTube made us start marking stuff as safe for kids or not. I said I was okay with not knowing. Sorry. I don't know that, but it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so there's YouTube Kids was the response to that. And from what I know from parents that utilize YouTube Kids, they really like it. God damn it. All right, let's go. This is the fight that could go real bad. Alright, he should be able to take that on his own. He won't be, but he maybe will, so we'll... I'm gonna hop off. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's good to see you too. Jeff, I have exciting news. I'm excited for the exciting news. I might not live to see it. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. I was about a half hour away from where the ribbon's at. I mean, we're getting faster because we just know the routes. But I still had to get... We're hitting the points where I know the routes less. Because I still had to get into that room with the 4 doors. Go into... Is it? Yeah, I was like 2 screens away, basically, from where the ribbon was at. It'd probably take about a half hour. We have to go up into 3, go 7. No, that's not the right door. Which door is right? Oh, it's this one. Okay, yeah, so it was 6. Yeah, because that's such a long path through that room. But we were just going to the ribbon, which is like in the middle of it. So maybe 15 minutes, but probably half hour away from that, and it took us about an hour and 10 minutes to get there. Again, let's level for 40 minutes. I miss you. Okay, we can level. He says, so when did you save last? There are no saves in these dungeons, yeah. It's just... What Shiki say? I got an email the other day. One of the stores I contacted about selling my books asked if I want to do 2 pop sale signings at 2 of their locations in October and November. That's incredible. We're getting 2 submissions for literary magazines. I love all of that for you. Congratulations. That's amazing. Let me scroll up. Shiki said I wouldn't die, but I did. Sam said, I'm just curious how it's going to work out. Restrictive modes and parental locks. I've never once worked. I was a kid who broke them regularly. Same. Adam said, gasp, you weren't actually 18? She says, yeah, I'm so excited. I wrote back and asked how many books I should bring and other stuff, so I'm waiting to hear back about that. I'm nervous but excited. Question, do you have a PayPal? Would be my question, because if you have a PayPal, you can do, sorry, I keep not moving him forward, so at least we'll have that covered. Yeah, let's do what Sam suggested. We're gonna go in just for leveling. Sorry, I lied to you. Yeah. If you have a PayPal, you can go in and do this thing where you they'll send you a Zettel reader for free. And so you will have a thing that can run credit card transactions. And that is, even if you don't use it for these particular things, that is just like a good thing to have a thing that reads credit cards, and they'll send you a reader for free. Square will also send you a reader for free, where just a lot of people just already have a PayPal. I prefer the PayPal one to Square because they the PayPal money you get instantly, so, and can do it for things instantly. I mean, when you have a brand new account, obviously with PayPal that's not the case. They hold it and stop you from transferring right away, but you have PayPal. Yeah, so look into PayPal Zettel, and they should send you a reader for free. The only downside with like the new Zettel machines that read chips is that you don't have a way to just swipe, which when people, in the rare case that what you're dealing with is like one of those like Visa gift cards or something, they just don't work. But that's such a small use case that you're pretty good with Zettel. And remember, PayPal invoices may fully dox you. You're working very hard to keep your name, author name. Yeah, so like you can set up a business specific PayPal, and then you can also have a business PO box somewhere, and then that's all stuff that if that's important to you, you can get handled in that way. But yeah, it's the PayPal stuff's nice, Square stuff's nice to have like a reader and have. That would be my one advice is have. It's not like it's a big deal, you know. It's like we've certainly have had people set up for signings and readings and gone like, hey, do you mind running a card if someone just has a card and doesn't have cash. And, you know, we've done that, but it's just nice to be able to, like, not have to worry about that sort of thing and be able to just, like, run cards right there. My other advice is to bring more than just books. You know, you're someone who makes really good, fun art, and if you set up at a little table, like, inevitably lots of people, including children, are going to want to come up and talk to you and maybe buy something to support you, but that children will not be interested in buying a book about nightmares, probably, but having, you know, a bookmark you're selling with hand-drawn art for $1, or that says, you know, some clever phrase on it or something. As much as that stuff feels real silly, that's the stuff that does tend to, like, people like little, and, you know, have something that's free. Free giveaways are nice. Just so, like, if they come up and they're not interested in buying a card, buying a book, like, having something that they can grab that has your name on it, so that they're interested, you know, but don't have money that day, they can follow up later and still, you know, find you and buy a book later. That kind of stuff. But yeah, good luck. It's fun. It's fun. I think you love that stuff. I have a lot more experience helping people set up for those things and running than being the person sitting at the table all day. And then one didn't run away. Okay. And I would say on, like, the how many books to bring thing, like you can always bring extra books, but not bring them all out to the setup to the table, right? Like, you can always have more in the car than you think you'll need. But the thing that really sucks is, like, the hauling all of that stuff into setup. Like, you also don't want to run out, but, like, you can always, like, in that, it'd be like, okay, I need to run back to my car to get more books, and Sam says I'll be there haul thing. Yeah, you can send Sam out. But I have to order books. Yeah, I would order whatever. You have 2 events, so I would order whatever you think you're gonna need for, if you have the cash to, obviously. But I would order whatever you think you need for both events. Have that on hand, and worst case scenario, you have it for the second event. Are we supposed to bring our own table, or they will be setting up for us? That is a question to ask them. I usually provide a table and a chair. And then I think that's pretty standard, but you never know what you're walking into. So, like, it would be worth saying, like, hey, by the way, my partner's going to be with me. Can I make sure we have a second chair? And then they should be happy to do that for you. And then usually you bring, like, the tablecloth what, like, so you can have it look however you want it to look, signage, that sort of thing. Some places will do all that for you, but it's usually pretty standard for what provided to be like just like a blank table and a chair, and then you have to be like, hey, can we get a second chair? Is usually how it goes. When I make a PayPal business account, it seems all my fees will come out of purchases, so I don't have to pay anything for the account. Yeah. Yeah, PayPal business account. I will say the one downside of a PayPal business account that didn't used to be the case, but is now, is that you can, once you're there with a PayPal business account, you can no longer receive anything friends and family ever on that account. So even if it's like another writer and you're like, hey, will you send $20 to my PayPal for this? And they're like, sure. If they send you $20, it's gonna take the percentage out, which is unfortunate, but it's completely understandable because the amount I saw people abusing friends and family for things that should not have been friends and family, they had to do something. Yeah, I asked some questions and hopefully she answers pretty quickly. Yeah. Usually, you bring a tablecloth and your stuff you're selling, and I would make some sort of sign. You can do business cards if you want. A lot of people do a little QR code thing. Do remember, because I see a lot of people make this mistake, that QR codes, the free or cheap ones, expire. So don't spend a lot of time and money making a QR code in a permanent way, like on a business card or something, unless you know that that's a QR code that you're going to be able to have long term. Sam said, just till we know how the transactions are working, like, are they selling the books at their store or are you? Typically speaking, if someone's coming and doing a signing at my shop, there's some variation to this, but usually people bring their own stuff to sell. That's not 100% true 100% of the time, but that usually tends to be how it happens and goes down. Nick says, I caved and ordered Borderlands 4. I did not, however, get the super special edition or anything, just space game. I will support you at the minimum I have, Randy. Goofy, I have to look into that. I also have a chalkboard somewhere that I can use as a decoration. Chalkboards are great. The other thing is that most, I think I got on Amazon at some point, there are these, I can send a link to, there are these like, plastic things that basically hold a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but it's like a plastic stand that they just like slide into. And those are great when you're starting off because you can just like print off a like, hi, I'm Shiki. Here's a QR code that goes straight to my Blue Sky or whatever you want it to go to, right? Or my TikTok or whatever it is that you want to push, and then it can be a very temporary thing because it's for that day. So you can have like the cheap or free QR codes because it's temporary. But then the next time you go, you can just print off a new one. Or if you decide like, I want to do something different, you can just print off a new one, but you have that like case that like things can slide in. He says, does that one have root access too? EULA agreement on Borderlands 3 says you give them root access to your computer for downloading their game. It's an excuse to that's insane. I hate everything so much. Every game has that anyways. It's nice for them to call it out, I guess. It feels nuts to me. The whole world feels nuts to me, though. Yeah, and if any of this advice is like not actually helpful, feel free to ignore any or all of it. Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice because you can like slide them in. Chalkboards are nice too. You can do business cards. A lot of people do them, but they cost a lot of money, and if you're not like, you know, like I have a lot of business cards still that have what is now false information on them. So that's just a thing that happens. So it's like, I think having something that's like, hey, here's a QR code to the social media I want to direct you to is probably better these days, but Ed says whole world is shit, and that's why I'm excited to have pretty nails and have a FFX randomizer on tap for tomorrow. I think both of those things are great. I can't do pretty nails. I find them way too distracting. Is my entire thing with them is just that I go, man, how am I supposed to get anything done? Like, every time I go to move my hand, it's just like, oh, my nails. And it's not even that I'm like, oh, my nails are so pretty. It's just, I don't think about my fingers and my fingernails, but like once they're painted, that's all that I see when my hand is moving in front of my face. Sheik says, well, to be fair, you don't give them admin access to every game. Made pretty nails last week, and all the polishes shipped. Lena's gotten really into like putting on nails. Oops, I just had her do fire, which would heal him. Putting on nails and then doing like a healing, doing like a decorating thing with like putting nails on and like painting them in cool ways. And your advice is nice. My brain is just putting right now. I'll try to remember to send you stuff. Yeah. I think that's the door I need. I guess it doesn't super matter right now because we're just like in level up mode, but actually got my own nail polish for the first time today. For the first time? Nice. Congratulations. More people should paint their nails. I was having a conversation yesterday with someone, and we were just talking about. It is interesting because it's someone who like doesn't fall on this same political side of the fence as like me or anybody else in this chat, but like is also someone younger and figuring it out, and like is also not like, I would say, like fully on the other side of the fence either. They're just like, remind me a lot of me when I was 18, 19, 20, you know, of just like grew up in that world and is like thinking through a lot of stuff, right? And we were talking just about the fact that it's one of the weirder, stranger things that like gender performance was not the political football that it is today while I was growing up. But we did seem to like live in this weird world where anytime women crossed the line, like from what was considered like female gender performance into male gender performance, they were often like praised or elated for it, at least in certain categories, right? Like it was like, oh, you're a girl, but you're into video games. You're a girl, but you like sports. You're a girl. Like, it was like, huzzah. But while that was happening, I grew up in a world that there was not really that for men, right? There was not like a category in which if men crossed over and like, you're a man who likes Barbie, it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, that was you're a dude who likes to paint your nails. What the fuck? It's very interesting to me that was like the world that just existed for however long it did, and the way everyone was like, yeah, this is fine. This is normal. What are you talking about? Dark blue with glitter, which is what I have right now, and a dark red. Nice. Nick said, what is admin access though? Every game needs to write to your system and save games. You don't specify where. You think, hey, save where I install the game. No, they put in random places, like app data or user files on your OS drive, which often is the game installed. I wish PC had shit like mobile that lets you know what permissions an app wants. Yeah, I don't know enough about that to be able to talk in any level of certainty or helpfulness. There's a time I knew PC stuff pretty well. That time is long since passed. But yes, again, my main problem with painting nails, it is so very darn distracting. And then I chew on my nails a lot, and I have to like remember not to do that if they're covered in stuff. It's too much, man. I do like compliments I get when I painted nails. Those are fun. OMFG. Okay, Jeff. Have I shown you my first Silksong doodle? It's the one you posted in your Discord, yes. And I showed it to my kids. They loved it too. And also, I want to show you my second doodle. I would love to see the second doodle. Because cheating literally ruins games. Battlefield. Oh, you're answering Cheeky, who said, yeah, I guess so. Just feel slimy. Why do you need to be able to see what I have on my PC to see if I'm cheating? Nick said, because cheating literally ruins games. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Destiny, any competitive game. Terrible on PC because it cheats. Hell, and the forced person could join your game and corrupt your save file instantly if they wanted to. That's all not so banana pants. I really don't know what to do with any of that information. I also don't play competitive games, so I guess I wouldn't do much with that information. But also, like, it doesn't feel like the answer should be, okay, we're gonna search your hard drive to see what's run. But then what is the answer? I don't know. Is Borderlands really a competitive game though? Isn't it like co-op? Do people somehow play Borderlands competitively? I need to pick up some veggies. Back in a few. I bought carrots yesterday and hummus, and I'm so mad at myself because I left the hummus out. It's not gonna be good anymore. We'll get to work and then have to take care of hummus that is not good. I sent her to you to see the Am I the Asshole post. I saw that you sent the Am I the Asshole post. I didn't look at it because I was like, well, maybe we're gonna do a show, and then we didn't do a show, and then I didn't look at it. That is amazing. I love that drawing so much. This is what I'm saying. I think you should take some of your some of your art, and I think you should turn it into some stickers or bookmarks or just prints. And just be like, hi, yes, I'm a horror author, but also here's some other cool stuff I made. Timer Post is as wild as the title. I was enraged and confused. Okay, I just read the title for the first time, and I am also somewhat enraged and confused. I took to putting the reference in the image so it's easier to look as I go. Nice. Yeah, I think there's definitely services out there, some better than others, and some more ethical than others. I think we hate Sticker Mule now for some reason, but gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what that reason is. But there are definitely services out there that you can be like, hey, make me stickers of this, and make them. You might even have a local ones that'll do it. The local option for a long time, that sort of thing. If you get a Cricut or one of the various Cricut competitor type things, you can make your own stickers. That's in our long-term plans. I gotta think, yeah. It's highly right. I think your stuff would do super well in that, and it's like what you're for sure gonna get is gonna be a bunch of people walking up to you and going, "Who are you? What is this?" And that just gives like an opportunity to be like, "I'm this like thing," but that might not be your bag. But also, you should follow me because I'm cool. My one friend who's an artist, and she, sets up, and it's a little easier because she's setting up as an artist, right? To do these kinds of things, and she's doing some amount of like, hey, I'll draw on blank covers for you, and I'll do this, But she has tip jars set up at her booth every time. And she'll draw 2 characters and make the tip jars like basically the war. So she'll make it like, like Optimus Prime, and I forget the bad guy from Transform. But she'll take 2 characters from a thing and put them there, or like, one time she did Edward Cullen and like the Eric from True Blood, and you could tell from her drawings that's who those 2 people were, and everyone was like voting as they with their tips, which is like a fun thing to do. And then she posts about who wins at the end of the day. So those are fun ideas you could do too. But people love supporting local writers and doing so just like anything you can do to like kind of get out of the way to like let them love and support you is a good thing. But it's like if all you have there is like a book that might be at a price point that's too high for them, it's gonna be harder. It's a fun idea, I like that, yeah. Jesus. Can we stop killing people? Please. All the gold received. Did you level up at all? No. We received some gold, though. Alright. Life spells. Cure everyone. Actually, let's just walk out of here. Let's go back and rest up at this point. We're able to do some level of leveling up at least. At least there's that, right? Okay, it's time to crash for the night, I think. I'm disassociated in front of the computer long enough. I hope stream times and goes well. Take care and stay awesome. Thanks, Adam. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest. We're not going to go too much longer here. Doing some leveling up. Mostly because Sam requested it. More hangout time. Which I can appreciate because, like, I miss everyone. And, you know, it did mean we leveled up a little further. I suddenly can't find this town. Oh, there it is. Can't find the town. And next week we will quest once again for a ribbon. Hopefully don't have the same bad luck of, you know, not being able to, like, just getting the super bad RNG. I mean, like, there's not much. There are certainly times in these last few weeks of, like, you know, me trying and failing get this done. There have certainly been occasions where it's like, oh yeah, I could have been paying better attention, I could have been prioritizing going for this or going for that, right? There has certainly been times like that in the last few weeks. It's hard really to say that today was that, though. I mean, we walked in and I could tell it was going bad from the start. Like, we were talking about other stuff and I was like, oh, this is not going the way it should. And that wasn't even, you know, it was just the instance of, like, those particular enemies and what they can do to incapacitate us. He said, aw. And sleep all Addo. Yes, Addo, sleep. Do this. By the way, if for some reason you have not watched my first video essay thing I did on Big Mean Jerks Indeed, yes. My first video essay that I did on Final Fantasy, it is on that YouTube channel. Please go check it out. I'm working on the second one. Once it is done and once this game is beaten, I can shave this beard off my face. My beard is so long. I'm back. Sorry I got pulled away by Elvis. Cats are more important than me. It happens. We, like, almost died again. We made it through, but it was close. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna take our experience and leave. Actually... Ooh, close call, yeah. I was out watering the garden, and then he ran up meowing from down the road, not direction his home at all. And sticky stuff in his fur? Oh no. We have raid messages. They look like that and that. The Shiki came out to help clean him. Glad you guys got him clean. Who we're gonna go say hi to. Out of Borderlands 4. Are people really that excited about Borderlands 4? I don't think I played 3, and this is from some... I played so much 1 and 2. We're gonna go Bugvit because he's playing Resident Evil 4. And we like Resident Evil 4. Alright, be honest, be kind, be useful, live a good life. Love you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, friends.